Now that we have a much stronger understanding of the basics, we can start moving into some more exciting territory. And to start us off, we're going to talk about the while loop. And basically, what a loop is itself is it allows you to repeat code. Loops allow you to take a chunk of code or a block of code and repeat that over and over again without the need to copy and paste to do the same actions over and over and over again. So a while loop on a basic level allows you to do something while something is true. So in other words, as long as something is true, keep doing what you want to do. Let's take this into an example and hopefully it'll make a lot more sense. Here we have a basic handy-dandy adder program, and our basic handy-dandy adder program takes in, it first of all asks the user if they're sure they want to add something, which, you know, why not? And then if they enter no, it just simply exits as our if statement indicates. And if they say yes, it asks them for the numbers, so we can give it 9 and 8 and you'll get 17. It's a basic adder. Now this program only allows you to run linearly. Basically it goes through, and depending on this if statement, it will either jump past the if statement and leave, or it'll enter the if statement and let you add. But what if you wanted to let the user add multiple numbers together? So after you added two numbers together, it would ask you if you wanted to add another set of two numbers together. That then again is repeating code. If you were going to do this, copy paste all of this code right here and just ask them again. But then what if they asked you again? Would you copy paste a third time? Doesn't really make sense because you can't predict how many times they may want to add two numbers together. So what we need to do is actually switch this into a while loop. And the while loop will allow us to loop through this, and while the user wants to add two numbers together, ask them for the two numbers and print them out. While the user wants to add something, we can change this if here to while. And all of a sudden, our code does something very different by changing this word. Now, as long as answer is equal to 1, it will repeat this code. So let's take a look and actually see what happens here. And so if I run this, it asks me, do I want to add something? So I say, yes, I want to add something. Great. Now it says enter a number. Okay, so I enter my two numbers, and it says, it gives me the sum like normal. Right away, it says, do you want to enter a number? So I go again. And you'll see now that it actually is infinitely looping and allowing me to keep entering numbers until I force the program to quit. Now, this isn't exactly what we intended. What's happening here is we go through, we ask the user if they want to add a number. They say, yeah, we do. So then it enters the while loop because this is true. And it asks us these two questions and it adds them together. We exit the loop. It comes back around and it asks, hey, is answer equal to yes? Well, we haven't changed it, so it's the same thing. So it will go back and re-ask them again. So you can see that every time it's just going to forever and ever until you quit that program manually, it is never going to leave this loop. So that's not what we intended right away. And what we actually need to do is ask the user if they want to add something again. So we'll go like this. We'll ask them again. And right away, we'll just take this yes and no chunk here. And so what should we read in? Well, our condition for our while loop is while answer is equal to 1. And so to leave the while loop, answer actually needs to be something other than 1. So what we will do is we will do another scanf here. And we will fill in answer again. So they will overwrite the value of answer with what they type in. And if it is not 1, meaning yes, it'll leave the loop. So let's try this again. Would you like to add something? Sure. And then we enter in two numbers. It gives us the answer. And then, even though I forgot the new line there, That's okay. Would you like to add another two numbers? And so if I click yes again, it will repeat as before. But if I enter in no, it'll leave the loop, because once they enter in no, it comes here. It says, should we repeat again? Well, the while looks at their condition here, and answer is now 2. 2 does not equal 1, so we leave the loop and we jump right to the end of the program. Just for a point of curiosity, if you run the program for the first time and enter in a number other than 1, what will happen? Well, if we enter in, let's say, 2 for no, it will come here and say, hey, should we enter the while loop? And if this is not initially true, it won't enter the while loop, and it almost acts like an if statement and will jump right past the while loop. You need to have the condition true to enter the while loop, and then to continue looping, it needs to be true every time it hits that. Otherwise, it jumps right to the end of the block and exits the program. If I write some code here, you'll see that once we leave the loop, so I enter in my two numbers, I say no, it says exiting. So it continues on from where the block associated to the while loop ends. So it will jump right to line 38 and then print out exiting before the program actually exits. So that is a while loop, quick and dirty. It allows you to loop chunks of code while a condition is true. And just like if statements, you can put your full range of and, or, and not in here. So if you want to say while answer is equal to 1 or answer is greater than 5, it doesn't make much sense, but we can do it. So if they enter in 7, it'll repeat, because it checks here, is answer equal to 1? No. But is answer greater than 5? Yes. So repeat. You can put your full conditions within the while loop here to make it loop as much as you want. In the next video, we're going to take a look at a more complicated version of our while loop.